Hey, good morning, everyone. Gotta go ahead and review how optional chaining works in JavaScript. So, when developing a project, you're 100% going to come across a scenario where you need to do some sort of conditional logic, and it's basically handling multiple decisions. It's often taught very early in the introductory programming classes. So right here we'll have our standard conditionals. So here, if the hour is less than 18, it says good day. Else, it says good evening. So if it's before 5 p.m., we're going to have an input come in, good day, good evening. Pretty simple. And then another example, this is an if statement. Another example are switch statements. So you see these a lot. Rule of thumb is if the logic is over 3, a switch statement should be used instead of multiple if statements. That can get kind of messy, having a bunch of multiple if statements. So here we'll have a switch. The expression is papayas. So if it's oranges, you're going to log oranges are 59 cents a pound. Mangoes and papayas, it's going to go ahead and render the 279 a pound here. And then there needs to be a default. So if none of these conditions were met, the default will be sorry, we're out of whatever expression was passed in. So those are kind of two high-level main points. And then more and more, I'm seeing a lot of ternary or inline if statements, and it's a shorthand way of writing an above if statement or a switch statement. And when I first saw it, it kind of took me a little bit to wrap my head around, but I've grown to really enjoy using this because it's short, it's concise, and it can easily be read in one line. You'll commonly see it in React, other front-end libraries like Vue. Probably Angular has its own version as well. So here's the React example from the docs. So if the user is logged in, so this is a statement true, false. If it's true, it'll say currently. If this is falsy, it'll say not. So if they're currently logged in, it'll say the user is currently logged in or the user is not logged in. So a short example with the ternary or inline if of the above. Remember our example, let hours equal 18, greeting is blank. So we want to instantiate these variables. This is JavaScript, so it uses let. And then greeting, so we'll have the hours. If it's less than 18, we're going to say good day. If not, then we're going to say good evening, and we're going to put an alert to the browser. So this logic here is exactly the same as this, but when you're looking through code, a lot of lines, looking at a lot of these kind of statements, it takes a cognitive load, and if you just see this little line here, it's a lot easier to see what's going on, in my opinion. Of course, you need to be consistent within the code base. That's a whole nother topic, though, I'll delve into. So if the values you have false on the right will display, much more effective in my opinion, and easy to read. Next up, we'll do optional chaining, and I'll go over this briefly. But it's basically you want to instead of causing a runtime error, the expression will short circuit and return undefined. So what does that mean in English? So basically, if it doesn't have a value, you'll have this object called adventurer. If you are calling this object and it doesn't have a value for dog, or this just doesn't exist, it didn't come back from the data, it'll blow up your whole application. You'll get a runtime error and a big ugly call stack, which is not a great user experience. So this will have us these little question marks here, optional chains, will save us from explicitly checking each value before we render it to the browser. So if we wanted, in the old style, render cat age before this came out, we'll have to do check for adventurer. Is the object adventurer there? Yes. Okay. Is adventurer.cat there? Is that exists? Is that truthy? Yes. If it is the cat age there? Yes. Okay, great. We're going to log the cat age. So that would be kind of the older style. Newer style, you would just have the question mark here. So instead of dog name, it would be cat age. It'd be adventurer dot cat question mark dot age, and it would render that to the browser.